All right, welcome to a short overview of the Smart Trader application. This was born out of the fact that I used to track all my trading accounts with Excel and have a bunch of different tabs. And of course, some of those tabs feed into each other, but there's a lot of room for error. And also, it's Excel. Why not make it so I can type it in one place and everything just flows through very simply? So that was kind of the precipice for building the Smart Trader application. And so what you can do here is when you show up, here's a dashboard, and I just kind of made a dummy account with a bunch of trades put into it. But basically this shows you here is your current investment in portfolio, and this uses the Yahoo Finance API to get current prices and then the names of each of the ticker symbols here. And you can go down here and you can also see your trade sheet. And so basically the way most traders will work is they'll do all the work at night. They'll build a trade sheet. So when they wake up in the morning, they'll know exactly what they need to execute on in the morning, kind of take some of the emotional stuff out of the way. And so here on the trade sheet, I'll go to that page separately, but this is all on kind of the home page dashboard for you. You can add a trade, you can go to the trade ledger, you can add another to-do here, and then here you can go to the current portfolio. And again, this renders with today's a Saturday, so these are yesterday's closing prices in the market right here. And then these change between green and red depending on if you're positive on the trade, or red, of course, if you're losing on the trade. And then same up here in these headers. You can go to the ledger. The ledger has a couple different color combinations. It's just the way I like to see it. And so a dark green means you've opened up a new trade. A dark red means you've completely closed out a trade. A light red means maybe you took part of the position off, so earnings are coming up and you don't want to sell the whole position, which would be a dark red, would signal the whole trade's closed, but you just want to trim back. And then additionally, light green signifies that I've added a little bit to a trade. So I haven't started a new trade for ARM Holdings. I'm just adding a little bit to the position. This page shows every single transaction that's taken. And you can go in here and you can edit these and submit them and update the trade. You can also delete, and it will automatically delete. I guess I'll just show. Let's remove this Eli Lilly one. Delete. It's gone now from the transaction. So this is every transaction raw data here. And this also shows, I like to know why I'm buying or selling. And so this shows what I call kind of the more macro picture, which is called a shaper pattern or a basing pattern. And then this is the tactical pattern, kind of the short little risk reward, like why I want to take that trade. And then over here, we have the trade statistics. So this shows for the entire portfolio, both realized gains, which are trades that are completely closed, and then unrealized gains, which is calculated again using that Yahoo Finance API to get current price and, of course, what we paid for it and the difference between those two. And this shows trades that are completely closed. So again, the color coding, it's green if it is a trade made money on, and it's red if it's a trade we lost money on. And then the blue ones are just trades that are still actually open, so they're not considered completely closed trades. And the really cool thing about this, and this is where I had a lot of trouble with my Excel spreadsheets, is if I click into something like ARM Holdings, there's a lot of buying and selling going on. It's very rare that as a trader, you're going to buy a position and then sell the position. It happens a lot, but also trying to build and pyramid into positions over time. And of course, you might have to manage around a core position and buy and sell all the time to manage your overall risk of the portfolio. And these calculations kind of get a little tricky with Excel. And so what I did here is this breaks down now every single transaction, I'll call it. So every buy and sell, which all of these are shown on the ledger, but this combines it into this one single trade. So if I want to go back and see how well I did this month or quarter or do a whole year in review, I can go to each trade individually and kind of break down, all right, what was I thinking here? What was the overall market doing? What's the economy doing? Why did I sell here? Was it the right place to sell? And it's a way to improve the process over time. You can do the same kind of editing here and deleting these trades in case they're incorrect or whatever. And then it also gives you an average open price, the average close price, cost. I have this hold here because I think I might add one more thing in here, but I haven't done that yet. And again, gain loss percent, and then the portfolio impact, depending on how big of your overall portfolio is, like how much did it impact the portfolio. And the last thing I'll show here, this is really important for traders to understand. Most trading systems, you're going to lose more than you're going to win. The question is, when you win, are you winning bigger than when you lose? And so This shows your win-loss rate, the average percent, so percent gain loss, the average dollar gain loss, and then the portfolio impact gain loss. So the two most important things are win-loss rate and then how it impacts my portfolio. And so you can see here that if you're only losing 0.2% each trade, but you're making 1.26% each trade, I mean, that's a 6-time risk reward outcome. That's really good. You can lose a lot and still make a lot of money with that. But of course, if these were basically even and we're losing more than we're winning, well, that's not great for us. So this is a great way to just see a snapshot of it. And now I'll just walk through and show you how the add trades work. So you can add a trade here. We can say, okay, let's say on Friday, we're doing our weekend stuff. We bought a little bit of, I don't know, let's say FANG. And we bought 100 shares at, I don't know what the price was, but 55. Was it a new trade? Yes, it was. Why did we buy it? We'll say it was a flat base, breaking out of a mini coil. And these are all required. We can't actually submit the trade if these 6 aren't filled out. These 2 are optional, so you can still submit the trade. So I'll just show we'll confirm this trade. So now we can see here's FANG, and then it's going to show up in our portfolio automatically here. Another cool thing is on the to-do sheet. So basically when I wake up in the morning, this shows what I need to do in the morning or may do. And this is cool too. So this again uses Yahoo Finance API to show me how far away I am from the trigger point, and then it sorts it by that distance. So, a trade that it's going to have to move 6.31% before my buy is triggered, well, that's not as important of a trade to put in the morning as maybe this one that's only 0.5% away or 1.88% away. And then for me personally, this is how I look at it. I can tell myself like these all 3 need to get put in right away, like these are urgent. I can also say like, okay, I've entered all of these trades. It doesn't mean they've been executed, but they've been entered into my system. So basically everything I needed to do for the day is done. Or let's say I haven't done this one. So now I know like, okay, come back. We need to put this one in. And then we can also just go ahead and execute the actual trade without having to add it to a trade. So now let's say that the Apple one went off. So we go to execute. This takes us to our add trade, fills out all the form. And usually what happens is it's rare you're going to get the actual exact price. So now I can see and look at my trading system and say, oh, I actually paid, I don't know, let's say it was 181.78 is the actual price. So I usually have to change that. But everything else is completely filled out. I can add the trade and voila. Here is Apple here as a trade. Everything's where I need it to be. It shows up in this portfolio. And I can also view details of current trades. So this is Shark Ninja. This has a bunch of buys and sells, but it's still a current open position. I can see how many shares I currently own, what the average purchase price was, the current price, which again is from the Yahoo Finance API, and kind of all my current statistics. So that's just a little overview of how Smart Trader application works. I hope that this one is to eventually get it and use the Next and the Nest frameworks to deploy this and then actually have so different users can actually log into it. Currently, this is just something someone can clone and do a quick npm install and then npm run dev, and they can have it up and running for themselves as long as they have a MongoDB cluster set up. So it's pretty easy to use, but you do have to have a little bit of coding knowledge. But my next step is to take this a little bit further and have it so people can just log on to my actual website and host it up on AWS and probably use something like Docker to containerize it before I do that. So that's all I've got for this. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.